Welcome to episode 2 of Prominent Pets, the podcast where we help people learn about all of the different household animals known as pets. In this episode, we will discuss hamsters and rabbits. So, again, welcome to Prominent Pets, the podcast where we discuss and inform you of recent developments in the wild world of pet ownership. We are your hosts, Alex Olson
and Allison Strauss. As always, the show will be divided up into 3 parts. Part 1 will provide history, Part 2 adoption tips, and Part 3 will tell you some interesting stories.
So, let's begin.
Furry, friendly, and pocket-sized, hamsters are one of the most popular small animals to keep as a pet. There are 26 different species, with the Syrian, or golden hamster, being the most popular. It is believed that most of the golden hamsters that exist today come from a small group that were captured in Aleppo, Syria, and later studied in Jerusalem in the 1930s. Hamsters are much more active at night, foraging for food such as berries and plants, and have extremely large cheek pockets that they fill while collecting.
Both long and short-haired varieties exist, as well as many different colors. Hamsters have been given various names that correspond to all of the different varieties, such as the honey bear and the Dalmatian. And now for some history on rabbits.
According to fossil history, rabbits are believed to have evolved in Asia over 40 million years ago. There are currently 60 known domestic breeds of rabbits, all of which come from the original European rabbit. This species of rabbit was one of the first to be domesticated and is quite different than wild rabbits such as the North American jackrabbit or the cottontail rabbit.
It is believed that when the Romans conquered Spain, they discovered wild European rabbits and began hunting them for their fur and food. Their extremely fast reproduction rate helped them develop large populations in the wild. With the spread of the Roman Empire came the spread of the European rabbit. Although their population grew rapidly during this time, it wasn't until the 19th century that rabbits were domesticated. By the 20th century, breeding had become a pastime, and domestic ownership was common.
Okay, let's begin Part 2, adoption tips. Most pet stores keep a steady supply of both animals in stock and also carry a wide range of accessories and food options. They really are a one-stop shop for everything you'll need to own either one of these pets. Just like we discussed in our last episode, animal shelters also provide adoptions of these types of animals. While not as abundant as dogs or cats, they do still occasionally get hamsters and rabbits in.
You can find breeders for both as well, although they are a little bit more difficult to find than the dog breeders we discussed in our last episode. You can search community listings such as Craigslist or adoptapet.com and sometimes find people selling specific types. The main reasons for breeding these animals are size and color. So if you have a specific preference for either of these, then a breeder is your best bet.
Okay, we're going to take a quick break and we'll be right back with Part 3 after a word from our sponsor.
Music, talk shows, campus information, true variety 24/7. Tune in to TC Campus Connection to hear real NWTC students broadcasting directly to you. Did I mention it's completely free? What are you waiting for? Tune in now. Welcome back to Prominent Pets. So, we've discussed the history and adoption methods surrounding hamsters and rabbits, so now let's go over some success stories. Here's a story we found on the website hamsterhideout.com. The website has a message board for passionate hamster owners to discuss their pets. Meet Yodel. The owner writes, It was only a mere week after my very beloved baklava had passed. I've never adopted a hamster that soon after, but the emptiness was too much to bear, and it seemed like a sign. Yodel came up for adoption right after baklava passed, and was said to be a long-haired black hamster. I tried to talk myself out of it, saying that I didn't want another one who looked exactly like baklava. My mom encouraged me that this hamster would be different, so I made the long drive over to pick him up. I was pleasantly surprised that Yodel had a smidgen of white fur on his left side, and also an adorable white belly. It's as if he had some of baklava in him, with his own mix of mischievousness and a twinkle in his eye. He was very jumpy and seemed scared, but already I was smitten with this little guy. He came home and the rest is history. We are now wonderful buddies, and he's so much like baklava in the way he loves attention and follows me around, but still has a distinct personality of his own. He almost always has bedding stuck to his fur, which totally cracks me up. I think he was sent from heaven just to heal my broken heart.
Wow, Yodel sounds awesome. Our next story can be found on rabbit.org, a website that has tons of adoption and story listings. Meet Humphrey. The owner writes, "My boyfriend adopted our second rabbit, Humphrey, originally known as Jake, as a surprise for me from a shelter in Minnesota. Humphrey was a 2-year-old lionhead mix. Although the shelter had named him Jake, when he looked at me, I could not shake the name Humphrey, so we stuck with it. Humphrey turned out to be the biggest cuddler lover ever. He would lay by me on the couch and let me pet him for hours. He also immediately got along well with our other rabbit, Asian. We wake up every morning to find them cuddling together in their cage."
Wow, what a great story.
Well, folks, that will do it for episode number 2 of Prominent Pets, the podcast where we help people learn about all of the different household animals known as pets.
Remember to subscribe to our podcast to ensure you stay current with our new episodes. Check back next week for episode 3, Reptiles. We'll be discussing snakes and lizards. Thanks for listening and have a great day.